What's one of the most fabulous things to have with that beautiful loaf of sourdough bread you just baked? Fresh farmer's cheese. It's a very easy thing to make and is absolutely delicious. So here's how to do it. I'm Mindopod, and I'm passionate about sourdough and great things that go with it. So take any milk. We're showing you with goat milk here. You want to make sure it's not ultra pasteurized. It's fine if it's pasteurized and homogenized, that's just fine. Begin by putting a little bit of cold water in your pan to help prevent burning the milk. That's a trick that my mom taught me. So start putting the milk in when your pan is cold, so that cold water is still in the bottom of the pan. As long as you're going to be there stirring the milk, it's okay to heat it on high. The idea now is just to make sure that it doesn't burn at all while it's heating up to temperature, which is scalding. You can use a digital thermometer if you want, but you don't have to. Scalding is easy to recognize in milk because you'll see little bubbles start to form on the outside edge of where you're heating it, right against the pan. And you want to make sure that you're not boiling it, so you're looking to see little bubbles and no boiling. And that's scalding. Keep it simple. So now that we've hit that temperature, we put in an acid. I'm using lemon juice here. You don't really taste the lemon very much, but it's a nice light touch. You could use white vinegar. You could use grapefruit juice I've done, and that's really lovely. You could use lime juice. If you like the taste of lemon, before you squeeze out the juice, grate a little bit of the lemon zest to add in at the end. And now you just want to give it a little bit of a stir, and then you're going to leave it alone. Just let it rest at 10 minutes. And remember, you've turned off the heat now, so you're just letting it rest and gently cool down a little bit. At the end of those 10 minutes, you should be able to see the curds and the whey have separated. The whey looks more clear and liquidy. If you don't see that, you could leave it a little longer. You could heat it up a little bit more and let it cool down again. Or you could add a little bit more of your acid, like lemon juice. But you should be able to see that separation before you go on to the next stage. In the next stage, bring your pot over to the sink with your empty milk containers and a funnel. Or of course you could just have a big bowl under your sieve that you pour it all into and funnel it into wherever you're going to keep the whey later. If you don't have a fine mesh strainer, you could use whatever colander or strainer you do have and line it with cheesecloth. If you're doing this over a big bowl, you could pour the whole pot of your curds and whey into your strainer all at once. I'm doing it bit by bit just because I'm going directly into a funnel, so I don't have to wash out a bowl. So in general, whenever you're working with cheese, you want to be doing things gently. That's the principle they always say. So as I'm working it here in the strainer, I'm just gently rotating it, and the whey is dripping out. Continue to rotate it until you see very little whey coming out anymore. But you don't want to use your spoon or any kind of pressure to push the whey out, because that might end up drying it out a little bit too much. So just rotate it like that. And now transfer it into your finished bowl and add a little bit of salt to taste. We've also added black pepper often, or that lemon zest that was reserved before we squeezed the lemon juice, or fresh herbs, and then refrigerate it and it firms up really nicely. It's absolutely delicious. Enjoy. Bon appetit.